Gambia's Minister of Health and WHO have highlighted successes registered in the country's health sector under the Essential Health Services Strengthening Project. And volunteers and civil society organizations are providing humanitarian support to sub-Saharan migrants in Tunisia. And the United Nations 2023 Water Conference wrapped up in New York with a great commitment to end water scarcity. Well, this and more coming your way on The World Today. Hello, this is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante and now the news in detail. Now, Gambia's Minister of Health and the World Bank on Saturday held a mid-term review of the the achievements in the country's health sector from 2020 to 2023 under the Essential Health Services Strengthening Project. An amount of $30 million was approved in October 2020, along with additional financing of $50 million aimed at improving the quality and utilization of essential health services in the country. Now, speaking at the event held at the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara's Conference Center, the World Bank country representative Ms. Fai Barofis underscored the significant development registered in the health sector over the years. She, however, indicated that the challenges facing the country's health sector are complex and multifaceted.
As a result of our collective efforts, we have seen some remarkable improvement in outcomes across the Gambia. These impressive accomplishments are a reflection of the hard work and commitment of the people of the Gambia, as well as the efforts of the Ministry of Health. However, we know that there is still work to be done. The challenges facing the health sector in the Gambia are complex and multifaceted, and they require a sustained and concerted effort from all stakeholders. Now, more than ever, countries like the Gambia need to invest more in strengthening their health services and health systems to make them prepared and more responsive to future pandemics. Investing in healthcare and making healthcare accessible and affordable for all is critical to achieving sustainable development and ending poverty.
Of Health, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate also lauded what he described as the massive success registered in the country's health sector. He says the Gambia's healthcare system continues to be resilient as the country recovers from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
As our country recovers from the difficult period of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Gambia health system has continued to build resilience to better provide healthcare services to the entire population. Therefore, our gathering here today is to witness some of the giant strides the government is taking to recover from the pandemic and provide the citizens with the required services for better living standards. However, as part of the recovery, the Ministry of Health has finalized its new National Health Policy 2021 to 2030, and its accompanying investment plan, the National Health Sector Strategic Plan 2021 to 2026, with a vision to ensure a healthier and more productive population through universal health coverage.
That is Gambia's Health Minister, Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, speaking there. Moving on, volunteers and civil society organizations in Tunisia are mobilizing resources to render support to sub-Saharan migrants in the North African country. Despite the laudable initiatives, one of the country's main migrant defenders blames Tunisian associations and activists for not reacting on time, following the president's derogatory remark towards the black migrants. Tunisia is among several North African nations faced with compounding migration issues. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Jean-Bédel Gnabry is the president of the Association of Active Ivorians in Tunisia. He says violence against sub-Saharan African migrants and arbitrary arrests have stopped in the country. Meanwhile, many Tunisians have shown solidarity with migrant communities in distress.
Le soutien de la communauté tunisienne envers nous.
The support of Tunisians to the communities from sub-Saharan Africa is led by many civil society associations and volunteers who have mobilized since the start of the violence campaign against us. They are behaving like our brothers and sisters. Volunteers are our family here in Tunisia.
The Ivorian migrant hailed the effort of Tunisian civil society organizations and volunteers who have organized online to offer much-needed help and support to sub-Saharan African families.
Volunteers are collecting and donating all necessities, food, water, and groceries. Associations are also helping migrants relocate by finding them safe houses. They are also bringing medicine and diapers for children. Volunteer doctors are providing free medical care for pregnant women and babies. This wave of solidarity continues even from ordinary Tunisians who want to offer help.
Sadia Musbah is one of the most active defenders of the rights of sub-Saharan African migrants in North Africa. She blames some Tunisian associations and NGOs for not reacting properly during the peak of the crisis when the president denounced undocumented sub-Saharan African immigration.
The migrants were afraid, but many organizations that could have helped were absent. It seems that they were afraid of the law banning any form of support to irregular migrants. Fortunately, enough Tunisians embraced their humanity. They listened to their hearts and helped sub-Saharan African migrants despite the legal risk and responsibility.
Tunisia is aiming to control the flow of undocumented migrants, which has reached alarming levels in recent years. During a meeting with President Zayed, the African Union's commissioners for political affairs, peace and security and health, humanitarian affairs and social development said the organization had full understanding of Tunisia's official position on migration.
President Kais Saied has ordered state administrations to facilitate the procedure for getting a residence permit for students and irregular migrants from sub-Saharan Africa. Authorities have also vowed to protect all migrants on its soil.
And that migration-related report there is coming from the North African country of Tunisia. Now back here in the Gambia, the first edition of the Gach mining-sponsored football tournament in Campo South has kicked off on Saturday at the Tujarin football ground. In the opening game, Tujarin played against Bata Kunku, in which the latter emerged as the winner in the opening game of the championship. Now, the football tournament featured 7 coastal villages, including Sanyam, Gunjur, and Katom. Here's more details of that in this report by Mohamed Baikarme.
The Gach Mining Intervillage Football Championship aims to enhance peace and unity among the participating teams. It is Gach's approach of giving back to the community for the company's mining operations in the area. The Gach company has not only funded the tournament but also provided football materials such as jerseys, footballs, and other items. Mafuji Sise, the public relations officer of Gach company, explains the objectives of organizing such a football tournament.
Mining has been in this country since 1926, but the Gach Global is the only game changer. We are the only one that changed the game by coming up with issues that the communities will benefit from. But it has been in this country since 1926. But then we are the first to create even a tournament, a youth tournament that will make the youth to realize that their sense of belonging to the communities and to bring unity among these coastal villages.
The opening game of the tournament was witnessed by the chief executive of Gach Global, Abubakar Jawara. The community heads invited guests and football supporters of the two teams. After a trail 90 minutes of display, Batakunku defeated the host Tujereng by 2-0, and the two coaches shared their reactions after the game.
First of all, I'm very happy for the boys, and I first have to congratulate them on the winning of 2-0. It is the first time for Batakunku to win Tujereng, and we have been neighbors for some while, so they have been laughing, so now it is our turn to also enjoy the momentum.
The way we prepare the game, coming on, and the way the things come to us, it comes to us like a promptly. So we have a two team. We are expecting that our third division team will participate in it, but by the time the stakeholders, they go and did a meeting and they said that third division was excluded there. So we go back to our juniors team to try and restructure a team, come back and play. So we find it very difficult to select a team to compete with them. But as things going on, we have another game to go and prepare again to see how best we can qualify to the semi-final.
An amount of $300,000 is being pledged for the tournament, with the overall champion expected to go home with $150,000 and the runner-up will receive $100,000, while the third position finishing team will be given a consolation prize of $50,000. There will be also a prize of $20,000 for the best goalkeeper and the leading goal scorer respectively. Reporting for Eyeafrica TV, I am Mohamed Garmi.
And you are watching the World Today News Bulletin coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. And once again, many thanks for joining us. Let's now take a break and come back shortly.
South Africa Global is the first and biggest private estate developer in the Gambia and present in 7 other African countries. We take pride in leading innovation in all spheres of real estate sector in the Gambia and beyond. As such, we are launching the development of the first smart and modern office and retail towers in the Gambia called TAF Twins. The TAF Twins is located in the heart of the Kanifing institutional area and 10 minutes drive away from Banjul. TAF Twins is designed to have 5 floors of office spaces ranging from 50 square meters to over 1,000 square meters with 2 elevators, central air conditioning, 24 hours electricity and water supply, with the ground floor reserved for banking, supermarket, restaurant and coffee shop. For your bookings and reservations, please call now on 376-2333 or 776-2333. Thank you.
Welcome back. This is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin. And once again, many thanks for joining us. Let's now look at the rest of the stories. Now, the United Nations 2023 Water Conference closed on Friday in New York with the adoption of the Water Action Agenda, a milestone action plan containing almost 700 commitments to protect water. The UN Secretary General says the conference forged an ambitious vision that water needs to be at the center of a global political agenda. Mariama Cham tells us more of that in this report.
From protecting against the spread of disease to fighting poverty, water flows through the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals when the world is grappling with climate change, water scarcity and pollution. Lending multiple perspectives and expertise to navigate the challenges ahead, more than 2,000 government representatives, scientists, academics, civil society groups, indigenous peoples, members of the private sector and the youth delegates attended the conference held at UN headquarters from 22nd to 24th March. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says new science base is needed to bring the agenda for water to life.
All of humanity's hopes for the future depend in some way on charting a new science-based course to bring the water action agenda to life. They depend on realizing the game-changing, inclusive and action-oriented commitments made by member states and others at this conference. A number of other follow-up steps are under consideration, including the recommended appointment of a special envoy on water to advance the prominence of water in the lead-up to the September SESTI summit, as well as the summit of the future next year.
The Secretary General pledged UN support every step of the way as member states take action through the second half of the Water Action Decade. General Assembly President Sawa Krosi said the $300 billion in pledges made to buoy the transformative water action agenda has the potential of unlocking at least $1 trillion of socio-economic and ecosystem gains. The outcome of this conference is not a legally binding document, but according to Krosi, it still turns pages of history.
Together, we can launch the transformation for a water-secure world, and these game changers can take us there. If we roll up our sleeves now, these transformative efforts will greatly support the success of the Sustainable Development Summit and the Summit of the Future.
According to the United Nations, the global water system is in crisis. Despite safe water and sanitation and human rights, billions of people lack access to these essentials for life. To reiterate the importance and availability of access to water, the WHO last year said that 1.4 million people die annually and 74 million will have their lives shortened by disease related to poor water, sanitation and hygiene. The World Health Body also said that almost half of the global population, 3.6 billion people, lack safe sanitation. There is new hope that commitments made during the water conference will address the water crisis in the world. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
And from the report here by Mariama Cham, on to our final story next, because Honduras has established diplomatic ties with China on Sunday after breaking off relations with Taiwan, which is increasingly isolated and now recognized by only 13 sovereign states. The two countries have welcomed the new development, with Honduras now supporting the One China policy. Here's more details of that in this report.
China's State Councillor and Foreign Minister Qin Gang and his Honduran counterpart, Eduardo Vina, signed a joint communique in Beijing on Sunday to formally establish diplomatic ties between their two countries. In a statement on Twitter, the Honduran Foreign Ministry said it recognizes the existence of one China in the world, and the government of the People's Republic of China represents China as a whole. The Central American country has also cut diplomatic ties with Taiwan and promised not to conduct further official dealings with the island. China's foreign ministry said in a statement that Beijing appreciates Honduras' attitude.
The
One China principle is the general consensus of the international community and the basic norms of international relations, recognized by the UN General Assembly Resolution number 2758 of 1971. Honduras government chose to stand with the other 181 countries in the world to recognize and accept the One China principle, and to establish diplomatic relations with China without any preconditions, which is in the fundamental interest of Honduras and its people.
The foreign minister of Honduras says this is a historic moment for the two countries.
En este sentido, pues hemos conversado ampliamente con el señor ministro.
Honduras is willing to strengthen cooperation with China in areas such as finance, trade, infrastructure, science and technology, culture and tourism, and to closely communicate and coordinate under multilateral frameworks.
The two countries say they will appoint ambassadors as soon as possible, and all necessary assistance will be provided to establish embassies.
And of course, that report here now eventually brings us to the end of this news edition. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and do have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.